Good morning, everybody. Today we'll be presenting our new SLG Schmaltz lightweight gripper as part of our Collaborative Robot series, as Mark mentioned. So I wanted to start on why did we come out with this product, and I'm just briefly going to mention this number right here, this 34% by 2025. 34% of robots will be collaborative. So, this means that a lot more, small, medium-sized customers are going to require, a lot more flexibility and capability to handle this new, materials and pieces that they're going to be handling. So, how is Schmaltz doing this? We came out with our SLG. So this is a pretty light and robust grouping system, completely custom for any application. So you guys can go into our configurator, which I'm going to cover in a little bit, and then pretty much adjust cups, pick different generators, and it's a very, very quick automatic design. So this is going to alleviate some of that for you customers. So it's very lightweight, like I mentioned, so it's gonna actually put some of that extra payload back to your robot, so then now you can handle bigger pieces. And it's completely cobalt friendly, so no sharp edges, very safe to work around humans. So that's another very cool feature. The configurator, which you can find online just by typing SLG on our website. It's going to give you very quick 6 steps. And the first one is you selecting your workpiece, whether it's a cardboard box, or the other really cool option is to be able to upload your CAD product. So let's say you have some kind of injection molded part, you can upload that into our website and then play around with the cups and make sure that they are completely flush with the part. And this is a huge improvement on design time. So your customers or you guys don't have to do this anymore. This is something the configurator is doing for you. After that, you can just pick the acceleration, like I say, position the suction cups, pick your vacuum generator based on what the application is. We have different options on that. And finally, just pick the interface. So based on whatever robot you guys are working on or your customer is working on, they can just pick a flange that matches that specific robot, and then you just send us the configurator part, and we'll provide a quote with you to you within the next day, and then we start the process after that. So a few options for the generators depending on what the application is. You guys have our multi-stage compressed air Venturi in there, and you can have 1 or 2, or if it's a smaller part, more airtight, you can have our electric solution, or if it's something that customer already has the generator, or they want a more advanced protocol on the generator, they can also go with external solutions right here on the right side. So a lot of different options for you guys to pick from. So where do we use this type of gripper, and why is it so great? So you can pretty much use it anywhere across the board. You can use it in any cardboard box application, pretty much any pick and place, kitting application, bin picking, sorting, injection molding, like you see this picture right here on the right side. Whether you have an odd shaped product and you need to adjust, the suction cups orientation, that's where this gripper really comes handy, being able to have that flexibility. So any industries out there, packaging, second line, secondary packaging or end of line packaging, electronics, we can use ESD cups or anti-static cups on these grippers as well, plastics, glass. We can also do HT1 material, which is our non-market material for the glass industry, logistics, pharmaceuticals, medical, you name it. There's a lot of different potential industries and applications for this gripper. Some of our competitor analysis, why is this gripper better than some others out there, or what your customers can potentially come up with, is because we spend a lot of time and research in our headquarters in Germany to probably last few years to really come out with the best 3D printing method and the best material. So a lot of people out there use this regular FDM fusion material deposition type of 3D printing. We use something called SLS, so it's very robust, it's very durable. We have done a lot of different testing on this, so it's been optimized, all the internal cavities, to reduce any head loss, any flow restriction. You can have this great configurator online, and one of the great things here is the fast lead time. It right now only takes us 10 days to fully manufacture, assemble, test this gripper, and then after that is just shipping. So it's about 2 weeks to 3 weeks lead time. So it's very, very fast for something that is completely custom for the application. You also have the option to have a sensor, smart sensor in there. So if you guys are into data transfer in real time, what's going on with your cycle, vacuum leakage, and want to plot that and come up with a predicted maintenance schedule, that's all capable through this smart switch right here. So that's another feature that we're offering. And so overall project cost reduction, because we're doing a lot of that design up front for you guys. And let me cover some of this cost analysis here that we put together. I'm not going to go into all these numbers right here, but just to give you an idea, if customers or you guys were to try to design your own environment tool, this is what you're looking at. You're looking at some project planning time, some design time, order management time, the procurement time, plus the assembly time. You're looking at 20-25 hours total to come out with a custom environment tool. And that's where we're saying we can beat this price by about 20 to 25% through this new SLG tool. So the other important thing here to keep in mind is with some of these, custom tools, a lot of customers go to 2-3 different revisions, and that's really where the savings start, because then they don't have to prototype again. We are making sure that this will be a fully working solution by the time you guys get it. So I just gonna wrap it up really quick and mention again some of the benefits. We are a single shop for the whole environment tool. This is what this SLG gripper is doing. You have the suction cups, you have the mounting elements, you have the generator built in, the smart switch if you desire to do that, and the flange ready to go, ready to mount into the specific robot. So it's truly plug and play or plug and work, however people is calling it now. Short lead time, Cobalt ISO standard compliant, and then it's reducing a lot of that extra work from the customers, from the planning, from the construction, purchasing, and assembly time. So it really is allowing them to focus on other areas of the integration of the robot programming and something else, instead of worrying about how they're going to create their product. That's the value of this product here. So if you guys, distributors, resellers, or end customers have a robot line already, this will be the adder to it, right? This will be the whole package. Hey, we can come out with an environment tool that is specifically for this application. If you don't have a line, then it will be something, a conversation like what we can help you come up with a gripper that's going to be suitable for that specific application. So very unique, very awesome gripper. I think it's going to have a lot of potential out there, and right now Germany is working into adding more functionality like decentralized zones and other cool features. So it's going to be a product that's going to definitely, we're going to keep pushing in, because the market is obviously out there. So Any questions for you guys right now about the gripper? I would like to Mark to open up, the mic for whoever has questions, technical questions, sales questions, or just in general, whoever sees some actual application or a need for this type of gripper right now. I would like to hear that as well.
David Collier, I think you had a question. You're muted. Let me see if I can find your question. Here it is, Juan. It's how is the max capacity determined? Also, second part of the question is the size of the cups and generator or material.
Mm-hmm. Great question. So the configurator, the top limit weight of the gripper, it's 10 kg. That's the max load. But the configurator helps you picking up some of those suction cups, and it tells you the load per cup in the configurator. So you just have to convert that into pounds or kgs, and that will give you an idea if you have enough for your product. So the configurator is doing a lot of that for you.
I don't see any other questions, Juan. I think you're good.
Sounds good. Well, thanks everybody for joining this quick webinar about our SLG lightweight gripper.
For everyone that would like a little literature on that, I don't have the literature uploaded for the SLG part. There's some other literature down there for the other components, but I will send that out to you guys in an email to follow up. There's one other question here. Standard safety factor, 3:1.
That's a good question. I believe it's 2:1. It says it's also in the configurator. Maybe Justin knows it by memory, but I remember reading it somewhere that I believe it's 2:1. The standard safety factor. Oh,
Yeah,
here you go. It's 1.5, Mark.
Okay, thank you.
So this is Justin Katz from Schmaltz Engineering. So just to jump in here real quick, we use a 1.5 safety factor as one of our standards. It's often seen in industry that we use a safety factor of 2, but when we get into lightweighting of tooling, especially for the collaborative end of ARM tools, we're actually going after this 1.5 safety factor in order to, as Juan said, keep a lot of the payload oriented towards the work piece. When we add more safety factor, we add additional cups and tooling weight in order to get that safety factor up. So this is why we go for that.
Cool. 1 second here, Tom Lakes, your microphone's open.
Yeah, question was more on the sales end. You mentioned the cost savings, and with collaborative robots, it's usually a smaller, less expensive end of ARM. Usually, would there be any price reduction if somebody would order a spare tool at the same time? There might be something to think about. Like 2,000 for the first tool and maybe 1,800 if they ordered a second tool at the same time, or something to that effect.
Yeah, Tom, I think that's definitely a conversation with your local salesperson and us understanding what the project scope is, the number of sales, if it's just one, understanding, a little bit of the process, and if we need a spare part, then that's something that we can definitely work out with you, but that's a conversation with your local salesperson.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I forgot to mention, Mark, is the cup range. The smallest cup we can put on this is a 7mm cup, but the actual gripper can go all the way to 350 millimeters. So that's about a quarter of an inch to 14 inches to give an idea of the footprint.
You have a question here from Benjamin Thompson. Benjamin, your line is open.
Yeah, I was wondering, you said, I guess step number 4 on the configurator, you can select the vacuum generation. Is it possible to stack maybe 2 vacuum generators on top of each other to make 2 separate zones? I know you mentioned at the end there that you guys are working on decentralized zones, but would it be possible to stack 2 separate vacuum?
Right now with the configurator, Benjamin, you can have 2 generators like this, like you see this, but this is fully fitting the whole N1 tool, so it's not giving you the 2 sound yet. If that is something that is very highly required from your customer, you can talk to your local sales rep, and then we can see if we want to put that, you know, as a separate project. Our systems team in Raleigh might be able to do that, but that's not going to be provided by the configurator just yet.
Okay, yeah, and just for reference, applications palletizing, you know, pick 2, drop 1, then 1 kind of
Right.
thing. So,
yeah, makes
all right.
sense. No,
Thanks for the presentation.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Last call for questions. I don't see anybody else with a hand up. If we don't have any others, we'll wrap this one up and we'll be back together on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for a session on vacuum end effectors that Gary Gray will be giving. Thank you, Juan.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody.